Hey there everybody, it's time for game 3 in the Demos Dozen. This is going to complete the first games, opening day games for the American League teams. We are at Oakland Coliseum. I'm not sure if it's still O.com Coliseum or what it's called at this point in time. It keeps changing names. But we're in Oakland, needless to say. And the Kansas City Royals will be taking on the Oakland A's. And after a quick pause, we're going to check out the 25-man roster, the opening day lineups, and have first pitch in just a second. Okay, you see the starting lineups right there at the top of the screen for both the Royals and the A's. We got lefty Danny Duffy for the Royals and right-hander Kendall Graveman for the A's. So some of the A's left-handed bats, Yonder Alonso and Stephen Vogt, are on the bench as they go for the right-handed hitters against the lefty pitcher. And look at our bench. For the Royals, you have Melky Cabrera, Cuthbert, and Butera on their bench, and Alonso, Rosales. That should not be Fegley. That's a typo. That should be Vogt. Okay. No H in Vogt, I think. All right, it's V-O-G-T, I think. You get the idea. All right, and here's the pitchers, the rest of the rotation for the Royals 25-man staff: Jason Hamill, Ian Kennedy, Jason Vargas, and a young man named Junis. And the bullpen: Alexander, Minor, Moylan, Carnes, Wood, Strom, Soria, and Kelvin Herrera, the closer. For the A's, the rest of their rotation: Sonny Gray, Jarrell Cotton, Tiggs, and Manea, with Colombe, Hendricks, Smith, Castro, Dull, Casilla, Madsen, and Doolittle in the bullpen for the A's. I rolled on the dice. We got normal or average conditions, so that means singles are 1 to 6 here in Oakland, and home runs are 1 to 5. I'm going to try something different this time. I'm going to try to put my score sheet up here to roll on. Somebody mentioned earlier in one of the other videos about liking to see the score sheet, so I don't have an overhead thing like some of the other guys do on their channels, so this is about the best I can do when you're talking about putting in a score sheet. And then I got to try to write around it as best I can. But I'll see what I can do. If it works, I'll keep it up. If it doesn't, then I'll move on to try something else. I could maybe, I don't know how that's going to work. I'm just thinking about sliding it up for when the visiting team's batting and bringing it down for when the home team's batting. Maybe I'll do it that way. My little stand that it's on is not the most stable in the world, so I like to try to keep it one stationary position if I can. So there we go. That's the best we're going to do with the visiting team batting. All right, so we're underway. Alex Gordon steps to the plate against Kendall Graveman, and Game 3 of the Demos Dozen is now underway at Oakland. We get a 2-11 for Gordon, and a 2-11 is a ground ball to first, handled over there by the first baseman, Mark Canna, and that's one away. Brings up Mike Moustakas, still a free agent at the time of this taping, which is Saturday, March the 3rd. Moustakas, I think it's the 3rd. 6-7 against a lefty for Kendall Graveman is a strikeout, so 2 down. And that's going to bring up Lorenzo Cain, center fielder. It's a 4-4 for Kendall Graveman against a right-hander. Is a fly ball center field X. That's Rajai Davis. He is a 3-E6. A 3-E6. That's an 18, so he's going to get to it, as Espo would say. And that is a 8. So an E6 and an 8 for a center fielder. E6, there is no 8. So that's a good play for Rajai Davis, and the Royals go down in order. 1, 2, 3. Top of the first, no score. So Lorenzo Cain made the last out. So down go the Royals. And now we're going to have the Oakland A's coming to bat against Danny Duffy, against the lefty, Danny Duffy. And leading things off will be Rajai Davis. So what I'm going to try now is backing it up a little bit. Hopefully you can still see the cards okay, and then also see the score sheet. It's a work in progress, folks, so hopefully you'll hang with me. All right, here's Rajai Davis against the left-hander. 2-8 against the left-hander for for Rajay Davis. A 2-8 against the lefty is a ground ball to short. And that's one away. And one of the few lefties to make the lineup for the A's, Matt Joyce, the right fielder. That's a 4-8. Danny Duffy, lefty on left, 4-8 is a strikeout. 2 down for Ryan Healy. He is the DH today. That is a 4-5. Duffy against a right-hander, 4-5's ground ball to short. And the inning is over. So nothing doing for the A's. Maybe I'll just keep it like this so you can see both halves of the score sheet. Maybe that's the way to go. Until we get later in the innings, and I need to slide the score sheet over, I guess. Alright, so nothing doing for either side here in the first. Graveman back on the bump, and we'll be facing the newest San Diego Padre multimillionaire, Eric Hosmer. Overpaid multimillionaire, I might add. I'm kind of a Padre fan, and I think they definitely overpaid. They could have gone much cheaper and gotten somebody much, not that much of a difference. Could have gotten either a Lucas Duda or anybody like that, any of those first basemen that were out there. They were plentiful. But I guess they know what they're doing. We'll find out in a couple of years. I think it's a 7-year deal, so we'll see how it turns out. Anyway, in Demo's dozen, he's just another guy. 1-7 for Hosmer, and he's going to draw a leadoff walk. So first base runner of the game brings up the catcher, Salvador Perez. So we'll roll the D20. Nothing happening. Here's Perez. It's a 1-5. 1-5 for Perez is a single to center. Rajay Davis has a 0 arm. Hosmer was being held. Runs at a 14. They're not going to take the chance. With nobody out, they don't want to take the chance. So that will bring up the designated hitter, Brandon Moss. So Brandon Moss will step to the plate. Lefty DH. Nothing on the D20. It's a 4-11. 4-11 is a diamond shot, home run diamond shot. And again, for Oakland today, it is 1-5 for a home run. And that is a 6, so he just missed it. So it's a fly ball to right field for out number 1. I'll try to roll the D20 so it stays here. Sometimes that thing curves all over the place. Here is Jorge Bonifacio, the right fielder. Nothing on the D20. 4-8 for Graveman against a righty. Ooh, that's bad news. 1's a triple, 2-20 is a double. So the runs will score. And look at that, it's a 1. So add insult to injury, you get your 5% chance for a triple, and he found it. So Bonifacio, a 2-run triple, puts Kansas City in the lead 2-0 here in the second inning. And they have to bring the infield in. They don't know how many runs are going to be scored in this game, so they're going to bring the infield in for Alcides Escobar. Nothing on the D20. 3-5 for Escobar. Fly ball left field B. It's a chance for a sacrifice fly. Bonifacio runs at a 12, but on that question mark you add 2, so the safe range is 1-14. The out range is a 20, and if it's a 15 through 19, he will have to hold. So if it's a 1-14, oh, I'm sorry, we got to do the left fielder's arm. That is Chris Davis. He's a 1, so you're going to add 1 to that. So it goes from a 12 to a 15. So 1-15, he will score. 16 through 19, he will hold. 20, he is out. And look at that, it's a 20. Do you believe that? It's a 20. So it's a double play as Escobar flies to left for out number 2, and then Bonifacio is out 7-2 at the plate to complete the double play. But the Royals do pick up 2 runs, and I hope I did that correctly, folks. Somebody double check me on that. Like I said, I'm still getting my feet wet back into the Super Advanced, so I want to make sure I did that correctly. I believe I did with the question mark there. I think he had 2, and then you have the safe range and the out range being a 20, and he just got a bad break by rolling a 20. All right, Danny Duffy back on the bump with a 2-run lead to protect, facing Chris Davis, left fielder. And it's a 3-7 against the lefty Duffy. That's a strikeout. So 1 away for Mark Canna, the first baseman. That's a 2-8 against the lefty, and that's another strikeout. So back-to-back strikeouts. Brings up Trevor Plouffe, third baseman. That's a 5-9 against Duffy, and that's another strikeout. So Duffy comes in and strikes out the side here in the second inning. Nothing doing for the A's. We go to the third. It's 2-0 Royals. Kendall Graveman will come back out and see if he can't stem the tide. Whit Merrifield, second baseman, will lead things off. He's the number 9 hitter. 1-7 against a righty is a line out to short, handled by Simeon. One away, and we're back to the top of the order for Alex Gordon. Gordon, it's a 4-6 against a lefty. That's a strikeout. So Gordon out on strikes. I'm going to try to see if I can't roll the dice against this little backboard here and see if that can't work a little bit better. Here's Moustakas. It's a 3-7. And now my phone's kind of tilted on me here a little bit. See if I can straighten that sucker up here. Alright, I think I hit it by mistake. 3-7. 3-7 from Moustakas is a pop out to short. And the inning's over. Yes, folks, I'm working with inferior equipment, so I don't have all the bells and whistles that some of the other guys like Tabletop Earl and such might have with the overhead things and fancy cameras or whatever. I just go with my little phone here and do what I can. But hopefully you guys will enjoy the presentation, even though it's kind of vanilla. Alright, so Danny Duffy stepping to the plate, or stepping on the rubber to face Jed Lowry. Switch hitting second baseman. It's a 5-7, so Lowry, a right-handed hitter. 5-7 is a ground ball second base X. That is Whit Merrifield. He's a 2-14. And it's a 5, so he will get to it, as Espo would say. And that's an 8. He's an E14 and an 8. So E14, and there is no 8. And a 5 and a 2. Just to verify, 5 and a 2, he does get to it. So it's a good play. 4-3 ground out, and Lowry is retired. Here's the catcher, Josh Fegley. He's playing because of the lefty on the mound. Fegley, a 1-7 against a lefty. And it's a 1-4 single. 5-20 is a line out to third. And he's going to line it to Moustakas. Out number 2, and that brings up the number 9 hitter, Marcus Simeon. Shortstop. 1-3 is a split chance. 1-7 is a single. 8-20 is a liner to short. And I still can't. I'm going to re-roll that because I didn't even look at it. I wanted to be able we could see it. 17, he's going to line it to short. And the inning is over. So Danny Duffy's perfect through 3 innings. A's get nothing. We go to the 4th. 2-0 Royals. Kendall Graveman back out. Both pitchers have a 6 for their point of weakness inning. So they've still got a few innings to go. Here is Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo Cain. Try to slide it over here so I can fit more of the score sheet in. And hopefully not lose the player cards. Alright, so Cain, the batter. It is a 6-3. 6-3 against a right-hander. Is a ground ball pitcher X. He's a 2E27. So that could be troublesome. It's a 16, so he'll get to it. Now it's an 8 on the E27 for a pitcher. An 8 on the E27 range. So pitcher, E27, and an 8. There is no 8, so he got a break there. And he'll make the play. So one away. Ground ball back to the pitcher. Cain is retired. Brings up Eric Hosmer. Hosmer walked and scored his first time. 5-5 against the lefty for Graveman is a strikeout. So that's 2 down for Salvador Perez. Perez singled and scored his first time. 6-7 against Graveman is another single. So Salvador Perez is 2 for 2. Brings up Brandon Moss. He just missed a homer his last time up on the ballpark check. Deep fly to right instead. It's a 5, nothing happening. And that's a 5-9 against a lefty. Ground ball shortstop X, and that's Simeon. He's a 4-17. And that's a 16, so he should get to that as a even as a 4, that's 16. Yep, it's a G2. Now we'll check an error. That's a 10, so we don't have any errors on 10s at the shortstop position. So that's a good play. And since there were 3 outs, you don't have to worry about a double play or anything. It's simply going to be a ground out to short. And the inning is over. So nothing doing for the Royals here in the 4th. It stays 2-0. And Danny Duffy comes back out. It's been perfect through 3 innings. 9 up, 9 down. And Rajai Davis steps to the plate. Rounded to short his first time. 2-7 against the lefty. He's going to ground to third, and that's 1 away. So Duffy has the ground ball working. He's either had strikeouts. He's had 4 strikeouts and 5. I'll check that. He's had 4 strikeouts, 4 ground outs, and 2 line outs. So, but no ball has left the infield yet. Here's Matt Joyce. That's a 5-11 against Duffy, lefty on lefty. Ground ball first base X, that's Hosmer. And Hosmer's a 2-E4. And that's a 4 and a 2. I think he'll still be able to get to that. 2 and a 4, yes, it's a G3, so he will get to it. That's a 6 and E4. And there is no 6, so Hosmer makes the play. 2 down for Ryan Healy. Healy grounded to short his first time up. And the A's still don't have a ball out of the infield yet. 4-2 for Duffy against a right-hander. That's a diamond shot, so at least it'll be out of the infield and it might be gone. Healy's definitely got normal power. So on the ballpark effect, it's a 1-5 for a home run. So a 1-5 is a home run. Anything else, he'll hit a deep fly to left. That's a 2, so Ryan Healy breaks up the no-hitter, the shutout, and everything with 1 swing of the bat. Ryan Healy with a home run. And the A's crack the scoreboard, cut the lead to 2-1. So here comes Chris Davis, left fielder. 5-8 against Duffy. It's a strikeout. So Duffy comes back to strike him out to end the inning. 1 run across for Oakland. And at the end of 4, it is Kansas City 2 and Oakland 1. Kendall Graveman back out. And he'll be facing Bonifacio, who hit that big triple. He hit a 2-run triple his first time up. And then was thrown out trying to score on a fly to left. 4-5 for Graveman against the right-handers. Another fly to left. That's 1 away. Alcides Escobar, the batter. 5-7. 5-7 is a ground ball second base X. That's Jed Lowry. Lowry, oops, got my D20. Lowry is a 4-E6. And that's a 3, so that's going to be a base hit. And that's a 13, so we'll make sure to see if there's an error or not. He is an E6 on a 13. There is no error, but a 4 and a 3 is an SI2, but nobody's on base. It's just simply a single for Escobar. So a 1-out single by Escobar. That will bring up Whit Merrifield. Nothing on the D20. 4-8 for Merrifield. Kendall Graveman against a right-hander. And again, that's that same spot where they had the triple from. That 1 is a triple, 2-20 is a double. So that 4-8 has been a killer for Graveman. And it's a 1 again. That's the second time. Both times he's had that roll, we've rolled a 1. So yet another triple. This one by Merrifield. Makes it a 3-1 game. And again, the A's are going to have to bring the infield in. Trying to choke that run off. Gordon, nothing happened on the D20. It's a 1-6 for Gordon. Ground ball pitcher B with the infield in. All right. So now I'm going to have to make sure I get this correct. I would think the infield in, a ground ball to the pitcher would not score the run. So let's see what we got here. Ground ball B, infield in, runner at third. Infield in, runner at third is a batter safe, lead runner is out. Oh, okay, how about that? Okay, so if we look here, infield in, runner at third, ground ball B is a 7. 7 says batter safe, lead runner is out. So how about that? So Merrifield tried to score. He's going to be out 1-2. And I'm hoping I'm doing that correctly. I'm just going with what the book says. 1-2. And Gordon will reach on the fielder's choice. So Gordon's at first with 2 outs. And Moustakas, the batter, Nothing on the D20. And that's a 2-8. 2-8 for Graveman against Moustakas against a right-hander. 2-8 is a, look at that. 2-8 from Moustakas is a bold home run. So even though they had to force out there, it's still a 2-run shot for Moustakas. And the A's now have put 3 runs on the board and lead it 5-1. So we're going to see if Graveman then finish the inning. Then they're going to go to their bullpen. So Graveman's only going to be able to go 5. It's a 2-3, and that's a walk. So not out of the woods yet for Graveman. He's got to face Hosmer. So anything's liable to happen. Kane can actually see if he can run here. Has to get a 7 to get a jump. So we'll see if he can get his jump. He does not. So no steals there. But we'll check for the D20. Whoops. Re-roll that so you can see it. Hopefully. Alright, nothing on the D20. Here's Kane. 5-10 against Graveman is a ground ball shortstop X, and that could be bad news again because that's Simeon. He's a 4. Better get a high D20, and he did. It's a 19. That's a 7. So we'll check an E17 and a 7. E17, no error there, so he makes the play. And the inning is finally over. But Kansas City puts 3 on the board, and that's going to be it for Kendall Graveman. He can't go any further. 5 innings are going to be all he's going to do. So the A's will have to go to their bullpen. And they're going to go to, let's see who's coming up for the Royals. They've got some right-handers coming up. They're going to go to Simon Castro. So Simon Castro, the right-hander, will be the new pitcher for the A's as we go to, when we go to the top of the 6th. So Castro will be in. Right now, enjoying this 5-1 lead is Danny Duffy. Danny Duffy. He'll be back on the bump facing Mark Canha. Mark Canha struck out his first time up. It's a 3-6 against the lefty. He's going to ground to short. 1 away for Trevor Plouffe. Trevor Plouffe. It's a 5-6 against Duffy, and that's another strikeout. 2 down for Jed Lowry. And that's a 5-6 against a right-hander is another strikeout. So Duffy, other than a 1 home run mistake, he's really pitched well. 4, 5, 7 strikeouts in 5 innings. Only giving up the 1 hit and the 1 run. So he's large and in charge. We go to the 6th. It's 5-1 Kansas City. And Simon Castro will be the new pitcher for the A's, right-hander. And he will be facing Salvador Perez to lead things off. Perez is 2 for 2 singles against Kendall Graveman. Now my stand got bumped a little bit, so let's see if I can raise this up just a hair and keep it steady, hopefully. When you're working with inferior equipment, this is what we deal with. Okay, try not to bump it. 4-8 for Castro against a right-hander is a solid double for Perez. So he's going to lead off with a double. That brings up Brandon Moss. Nothing on the D20. Moss a 1-7. It's a 1-4 double. 5-20 is a fly to center. That's a 2. It's a double. So back-to-back doubles. And that scores another run. And the A's now trailing Kansas City by the score of 6-1. Castro being treated rudely with back-to-back doubles. Here's Bonifacio. Nothing on the D20. It's a 5-5, and that's a strikeout. So he finally got a strikeout. Finally got one off his own card, too. That always helps. All right, here's Escobar, shortstop. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Nothing on the D20. Ooh, white die got hidden back there. 3-4. 3-4 is a pop-up to second. If there were 2 outs, that would have been a clutch base hit, but there was only 1 out, so the pop out to second will hold. And I'll bring up Whit Merrifield, second baseman. He had that big triple last time. Nothing on the D20, and 1-2 1-2 is a single to left field, so this could be a base hit. We'll do some calculations here. Davis is a +1 arm. There are 2 outs, so the runner Moss will get an advantage by there being 2 outs. So we'll add 2 to his run rating. Moss runs at a 10, so you add 2 to that, that's a 12. He was being held, making an 11, but then Chris Davis is a +1, makes it back to a 12 again. So a 1 to 12, and he will score. They're going to go ahead and send him. And he's out. So how about that? Chris Davis with his second assist. And that'll be another 7-2 put out for the 3rd out of the inning. So 1 run scores, but that was it, as Moss is out trying to score on that base hit to left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It is still Kansas City. It is now Kansas City 6 and Oakland 1. And Duffy back out. This will be his point of weakness beginning, the 6th inning, but he doesn't look very weak right now. Here's Fegley to lead things off. Fegley a 4-4, and against the right-hand ground ball, third base X. That's Moustakas. Moustakas is a 3 E16, and that's an 18, so he'll make that play. Now we have to check for an error. He's an E16, and that's a 4. E16 and the 4, it is an error. E16 and the 4 is a 1-base error on Moustakas. So E5, as Moustakas makes the error, brings up Marcus Semien. And one of the few times, in fact the only time today, the first time today, that Danny Duffy's had to roll to D20. Because there's been nobody on base, and that's a 1, so it's a chance for a wild pitch, which is a 2. He's a 2 wild pitch rating. But no wild pitch, so we just roll on. Semien, a 6-7. 6-7 is against a right-hander, is a single to center field. So solid single there. Fegley, the catcher, is not going anywhere. He's going to stop right at second base, especially down 6-1. But the first 2 are on, so 1 more hitter, and Duffy will all of a sudden get his point of weakness. Here's Rajai Davis, and there's a 1 again on the D20, so we're checking a wild pitch, which is again is a 2. And there is no wild pitch, so Rajai Davis. Oops. It's a 1-11. It's ground ball shortstop A. That's a 6-4-3 double play. And that's one way to kill a rally in a hurry. With that 6-4-3 double play. Fegley does go to third, but now there are 2 outs for Matt Joyce. Nothing on the D20. Joyce, a 5-8, is a pop out to short, and that's going to end the inning. So Duffy pitches out of it. And through 6, it is Kansas City 6 and Oakland 1. Castro will come out for his 2nd inning of work, although the bullpen certainly is loosening. Ryan Dull, the right-hander, is loosening. Actually, no, take that back. You know what we're going to do? With the lefties coming up, they're going to... Castro got kind of beat up a little bit. They're going to go ahead and take him out. And they're going to bring in the left-hander, Daniel Colombe. Colombe, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Colombe, I guess is what I'll go with, unless I hear something different. So Colombe. Always interesting trying to pronounce players that you've never seen or heard their name before, so this could be interesting. But he will be facing Alex Gordon. They got 3 of the next 4 hitters are lefties, so it's a good time to bring the lefty in the bullpen. Here's Gordon, 3-3 against the lefty, and that is a potential single, 1-11, 12-20. He'll line it to second, and it's an 8, so it's a base hit for Gordon. Leadoff single brings up the number 2 hitter, Michael Moustakas, another lefty. He homered last time up. That's a 14 on the D20. Nothing happening. That is a 6-8. 6-8 against the lefty is a ground ball first base B. That is a fielder's choice, and it's a 3-6 put out at second base. 1 away, and here's Lorenzo Cain. Now 4 is nothing on the D20. And we get a 4-5 for Colombe, or off of Colombe against a right-hander. 4-5 is a ground ball shortstop A. That's a 6-4-3 double play. So Colombe does well. Go to the 7th inning stretch. And it's still 6-1. Royals comfortably in front. And the bullpen will be loosening for the Royals as Peter Moylan, the right-hander, is loosening. Peter Moylan. But right now, Duffy's going to go back out. He gets to allow 2 more, either combination of 2 on walks and hits before he reaches his point of weakness. And he'll be facing Ryan Healy to start the 7th. Healy homered last time up for the only hit, and the only run of the game. It's a 1-6, and he's going to strike out. 1 away for Chris Davis. And that's a 3-9. 3-9 against the lefty is another strikeout. So Danny Duffy with the major K's going here today. Here's Mark Canna. 1-7, and he's hit by the pitch. So he gets plunked. So 1 more. Actually, I think the book says the hit by pitch does not go against his point of weakness. So I stand corrected. D20, nothing happening. Here's Plouffe. This is going to be his last batter anyway. They're going to bring the bullpen in the 8th. So it's a 3-4 for Plouffe against the lefty. Is a ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. It's a ground ball A, so we'll technically call it a 6-4 fielder's choice. And that's going to end the inning. So Duffy pitches 7 innings, only allows the 1 run, which was the home run. He only gave up 2 hits in the entire game. He hit a batter. He didn't walk anybody. Strikeouts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 strikeouts. So definitely a stellar performance by Danny Duffy, the left-hander. Kept the A's off balance all game long. We're going to go to the 8th, and Hosmer will lead things off. So Colombe is coming back out to pitch. Ryan Dull, the right-hander, is in the bullpen if he runs into trouble, but 2 of the next 3 hitters are left-handed, so they're going to give Colombe a chance to get through this. It's a 2-6 for Hosmer against the lefties. A ground ball to second. That's 1 away. Brings up the right-hander Perez, Salvador Perez. 6-8. 6-8's a strikeout for Colombe. So 2 down. And Brandon Moss, the DH, stepping to the plate, lefty on lefty. It's a 2-7, and that's a walk. So a 2-out walk to Colombe. We'll bring up Bonifacio, and if another runner gets on, they will go ahead and bring in Ryan Dull. So they're going to see if Colombe can finish the inning. That is a 3-6 against the lefty, and that's a strikeout. So that's going to do it. Colombe pitches 2 solid innings of relief. And that's it for the Royals here in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still 6-1. And new pitcher for the Kansas City Royals will be Peter Moylan, the right-hander. He will be in. Peter Moylan. Facing Jed Lowry to start things off. 1-9 for Lowry is a strikeout. 1 away. And now we're going to get a pinch hitter for Fegley. He's going to be lifted. And the pinch hitter is going to be Yonder Alonso. And then Stephen Vogt will come in and catch the 9th. But right now, Yonder Alonso is going to pinch hit. Yonder Alonso, the pinch hitter. Now with a righty on the mound. 6-11 against Moylan is a fly ball right field X. That is Bonifacio. He's a 4-7. It's a 15. Probably will make the play, but let's take a look. 4 and a 15. He does get to it. It's a 10, and there are no errors on 10s. Or there are no 10s. He's an E7. There is no 10 there, so it's a good play. Fly to right. And Alonso is gone in his pinch hitting performance. Brings up Marcus Semien with 2 outs and the bases empty. Moylan looking to pitch a 1-2-3-8. It's a 1-7, and he is done so. It's a pop out to short. So that's going to do it for Moylan. He's going to go his 1 inning, get a strikeout, nothing else. And they'll bring in a new pitcher to kind of mop up in the 9th. Certainly not a save situation, so you're not going to use Herrera. All right, we go to the top of the ninth, and we'll get a new pitcher for the A's. It'll be Ryan Dull. Ryan Dull, the right-hander, and he is the 4th A's pitcher to be in the ball game, and he's going to be facing the bottom of the order: Escobar, Merrifield, and then Alex Gordon. It's a 2-4. 2-4 is a pop out to second. One away for Whit Merrifield. It's a 1-8 for Merrifield, and that's a ground ball back to the pitcher, handled by Dull. 2 down, and that'll bring up Alex Gordon, top of the order. That's a 5-12. Ground ball second base X, that's Lowry. He's a 4-6. That's a 1, so we know that's a base hit. And a 9, so we'll make sure there's no error tacked on. But a 4 and a 1 is a SI2. And second baseman, he is an E6, and that is a 9. 9. There is no 9 there, so it's simply going to be a base hit. So a single, 2-out single for Alex Gordon, his second hit of the game. Brings up Mike Moustakas. Down 6-1. The A's are not going to burn any more pitchers. Nothing on the D20. 1-8 for Moustakas. He's going to strike out, and the inning is over. So Dull got through it. No problems. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Royals comfortably in front, 6-1. And we'll get a new pitcher for the Royals. Top of the order for the A's. And the Royals will go to another right-hander out of their bullpen, and it will be Nathan Carnes. Check that. Carnes is more their long reliever, so they're going to bring in Joakim Soria. Joakim Soria is in. He's their short man, so Soria will be coming in, and he will be facing the top of the order, Rajai Davis. 6-7. 6-7 is a ground ball second base X. That's Merrifield. He's a 2 E14. And that's a 6, so he should get in front of that, and he does. And then an E14 and an 8. E14 and an 8. There is no 8 there. It's a good play for Merrifield. One away, and Rajai Davis is 0 for 4 on the day. So when your leadoff man's 0 for 4, it's really going to stall your offense. But in fairness, a lot of Oakland players are 0-fers. 3-9 for Matt Joyce, and he's going to strike out, so that's 2 down. Last batter to come up is Ryan Healy, unless he can reach. 2-10 is a ground ball to third. That's going to do it. So Soria, 1-2-3 in the ninth, and that's the ball game. 6-1, your final. And the A's held to just 2 hits, 1, 2, and 1. For the A's. Let's figure out the Royals hits. I didn't put those down in the pitcher category, so let's total them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 hits. So for the Royals, 6 runs. For the Royals, 6 runs, 11 hits, no errors. For the A's, 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 error. Winning pitcher was Danny Duffy. The losing pitcher was Kendall Graveman. And there you go. That completes the American League opening day games here in the Demos Dozen. Next 3 videos coming up will be from the National League, beginning at Petco Park in San Diego, where the St. Louis Cardinals will be taking on the San Diego Padres. That's going to do it from here. Hope everybody enjoyed that presentation of strat-O-Matic baseball. And again, if I did one of the rules wrong, somebody please tell me. I don't care if I misread a die roll, because that can happen, but I definitely care about getting the rules correctly. So if I didn't do a D20 right, or I didn't do the fly ball to left field B question mark right, or something along those lines, please let me know so I can make sure I get that corrected for future reference. All right, that's going to do it from here. Final score again, Kansas City 6, Oakland 1. Till next time, hope you enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.